Hello speedy readers and accelerated learners and those who are joining me on the enjoyable journey to how to live long and prosper. I hope you missed me yesterday because I missed you. At the moment this channel is supported by my other work. I'm funding the channel. So I had to go and do some real work, wink wink, to pay for these broadcasts. So I missed you, hopefully you missed me, and hopefully we'll get to the point when we've got enough subscribers and enough interest, enough support for me to give all of my time to developing interesting content that will help us live long and prosper. Well, we're in the season of speed reading at the moment, under the threshold of accelerated learning, which in turn was triggered by Stephen Covey's final habit, habit 7, sharpen the saw. So I'm saying if you use accelerated learning, you've got a buzzsaw. So you can really become sharp-witted, bright and shiny like my head. And one of the greatest accelerated learning tools is speed reading. So we've started to explore how we can speed read by reading on purpose. The sharper our purpose, like the narrow aperture on the camera, gives us a great depth of field. The more we know that we're looking for, the easier it is for us to find it. And then in the last episode, episode 35, we talked about using a guide, accelerato. We talked about a bit of Harry Potter there. Today I'm going to take us back into the mind map, which you can have as a download, a free download, of my whole approach to speed reading, which is a fusion of what I learned from the Open University through Derek Roundtree's book, How to Study, and my years training people in how to be speed reading trainers with Busan centres. So there it is on one mind map, on one dashboard. And at the top of that, you'll see the big picture preview, And that's the way we get to grips with the context, the territory of a book. Because an author rarely begins the book at the beginning. Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? Usually they begin, like Stephen Covey said, with the end in mind. They've got a place they want to get us to lead us to with their writing. And so they then work backwards. They begin with the end in mind and structure the book. It's called the schema, like the skeleton. And that, if it's a well-constructed book, will be very, very obvious, especially if it's a non-fiction book. There will be graphics to accentuate the message. There will be an index. There will be a glossary. There will be a summary. There will be all sorts of ways to show you how to understand the skeleton and the schema of the book. So it really is worth spending 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, if you're reading a textbook for a subject, just flipping through the whole book. That sounds rude, doesn't it? Flipping through the whole book, maybe with bookmarks, and you go, oh, there's a good graph, stick in a bookmark. There's a passage that jumped out to me, stick in a bookmark. There's an index, there's a review. And we did have one fascinating account from a student who was studying psychology and was a little bit intimidated by the amount of work that he was going to have to read through to get up to speed in the psychology. So he was told that this is the textbook on psychology that we're going to be using in the first year and you need to read it. So he started at page 1 and read all the way through to the end. And he found at the end of this giant textbook on psychology that a whole end section was summaries of every chapter. Can you imagine the freedom and control, the circle of control we've talked about in Covey as well? He would have felt, if he'd had that overview, structure and control by going through the whole book first of all and recognizing then there were summaries of every chapter so that he could preload some hooks into his brain onto which to hook his knowledge. So that's the end of today, the big picture preview. It really is you worth spending 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes with the text, going through, seeing if there are bits that leap out, whether there are summaries, whether there are graphics, whether there's an index, whether there's a glossary, or maybe even other people's reviews of it as well and summaries on YouTube, so that you get the schema, you get the map of the territory before you dig in deeper. And if you would like to accelerate my own path to doing this full time, the first step is just making sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and clicking on that notifications bell, or is it that side? So that you don't miss a single episode. And that would really help me grow towards my vision of helping people like you who want to live long and prosper and abide by the law of love. Smashing stuff in the studio here. Because love always finds the answer. See you tomorrow.